It is I Have Petrol to you. Let me tell you something about myself. My mum is brown. My dad is brown. I am brown. My mum specifically has lived in Kashmir for 27 years of her life. So she is deathly afraid of absolutely anything and everything health fitness related. She was scared as shit of the vaccine. She was scared as shit of she goes to the doctors pretty much every single day. Which I don't blame her for. She has a ton of pains, a ton of aches. She's pretty much as paranoid as it gets when it comes to health and injuries. She is deathly... Like when I was a kid, my school, for reference, my school is literally like 30 adult steps down the street, or 60 little kid steps down the street. She wouldn't even let me go there until I was 11 on my own. So I was often late to school when I didn't have to be. It was so silly. She is overprotective, and she is scared to shit of anything. I still love her, though. I still really do love her. But oh my good God, I'm 22. I'm not going to die if I do a deadlift. Anyway, I had some weights in the cellar when I was like 14 or 13. Actually with my dad. My dad's weights. They were obviously the shittest types of weights. The sand weights that were plastic and would chip a lot. Yeah, those types of weights. With a crappy barbell that was hollow. I did a bunch of bench press, and I did a bunch of exercises in general, as much as I could at least. I didn't know jack shit about lifting, if I'm being honest, but I still did a ton, and I still got so heavily invested into it, only for my mum to then say, nah, I know that you are very much getting stronger, and that you have got no injuries, and you're having fun, and you're actually doing a productive activity instead of playing video games 8 hours of the day like I actually used to do. Getting up at 5 in the morning just to go and watch a fucking Tobuscus video, and then going back from school to do the same thing again, and then before mosque I would go and freaking play another bunch of games, and then after mosque, and then before dinner, and after dinner. Oh my good God, I was an addict to games. That was a very weird way of saying addict, actually, now I've realized. But anyway, I was then relegated, even though I had all these weights downstairs, and I listened to my body, and I'm not saying I was the savant of freaking lifting or whatever, but I had a lot of fun, and I actually connected with my muscles. I felt such a great contraction in my pecs from bench press and whatnot. I was relegated to do this at home workouts, right? And it really pissed me off because I wasn't seeing the progress I was wanting to see. The reason being was that the information was garbage. Not that necessarily that calisthenics is a bad but modality of training. It's great, it's amazing if you know how to do it right, but the thing is, not many people invest their time into it, therefore there's not a huger pool of information, as huge as a pool of information as, say, powerlifting or bodybuilding. This is a downfall of the calisthenics community, these dickheads who just post random bullshit, trying to get clicks because they have a good body, and they say, oh, just do X, Y, Z, randomly, no consideration for your body type or your body goals or whatever, just do this. It pisses me off to no degree. And this video I saw after like 2 or 3 hours of scrolling because I'm heavily depressed and I've got dopamine receptors fried more than a fucking pile of chips. And they're called chips, they're not called fries, they're called fries, if they're thin, they're fries, if they're thick, they're chips, okay? And chips are not crisps. Crisps are crisps, chips are chips, god damn it. America's always trying to... It's like they want to take all our freaking town names and everything, but they also want to try and change the English language just to you dingleberries. Anyway, I saw this workout video, more like a freaking masturbation video with how pointless it is. It was ridiculous. So, I'm not attacking this person specifically, by the way. If I look like I'm just harassing this person, don't worry, I'm not going to make any personal comments on him. I'm not going to go and ask you to go attack this one channel and comment on below. I'm just going to say this, however, this sort of advice, this sort of video that I've been subjected to since I was 14 years old has held me back for years. Years. I burnt myself out with these types of workouts, only for very little gains, and then, you know what, when I actually learned some good advice from weightlifters, from freaking bodybuilders, I actually grew. And then I grew more and more the more I learned. But the thing is, with this type of video, it keeps you stuck in the noob phase, and then you think, oh, well, I've just bad genetics, so I'm not going to grow anymore. Bullshit. Bullshit. But my goodness, do these videos not help with your already black-pilled mentality. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's see if this setup works. Yep, it works. Yo, dude, it's the summer buddy. That's my buddy. Only have 1 30-minute workout if you forget it. What was that? If you're smart, you can get an amazing workout in 30 minutes. Alright, show me. Okay. Seems cool. Seems alright. And it's very, very much accurate in that sense. You don't need 70 billion hour workout. I swear to God, Marcus Rattel, I don't know what the hell is his obsession with volume. Probably because he trains 70 billion RIR or something. But let me tell you this right now. You're not gonna fatigue yourself overly from getting to failure every now and then on safe exercises, and in fact it's beneficial, goddammit. You cannot go reps in reserve without knowing what the reps are in reserve. If you're gonna just guess it and you're just gonna train lightly and whatever, then yeah, maybe you need 50 hours a day to just get a frickin' stimulus. But maybe if you just pushed yourself, you can actually get a workout done in 30 minutes, depending on the split. That we have to acknowledge, because there's dumbasses like Mario Rio says, a workout is like 60 minutes or more, it cortisol rises up, and that is bad for hypertrophy. I've had a ton of workouts, way higher than 60 minutes, and I've got plenty hypertrophy, because I do bigger splits. I'm sorry that my freaking full body workout takes 2 hours, dickhead. Oh, look at me, I'm Mario Rios, I do PPL, so my workouts take 45 minutes. Why do you do a 2-hour workout when you work out your chest, your triceps, your biceps, your freaking neck, your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes, your quads, your abs, and your back, which consists of a bunch of other muscles. Fuck you, man. Anyway, I hate Mario Rios with all my fucking being. I should have made a ton more videos when he was getting more rage bait bullshit. Him and his brother are a bunch of dick suckers. I swear, I hate them. Genuinely. Anyway. This part of it. Let's actually get to that part of the point of the video, damn it. Grab 2 chairs and destroy coconuts with 12 sets! 12 sets! Now, let me tell you this right now. You don't even need 12 sets in a week. That's the big hashtag red pill, or whatever the hell. I'm not saying this as someone who's got the most humongous chest. I'm saying this as the person who has done the 20-set, 12-set workout freaking on the chest alone. And I grew jack and shit. But well, sometimes I would actually grow okay. But that was because I was either holding back a ton of reps, or I was just new, or I was just lowering my volume more and more and more and more and more, to the point where I was actually getting recovery. But let me tell you this right now, you do not need fucking 12 sets for chest alone, especially with such a high stretch movement. If you were doing a lot of, say, board presses, a lot of floor presses, you were doing some friggin' very contraction-based motions because you're injured or something, maybe we could talk about 12 sets, even though I would still think that for the majority of people, that is overkill. 12 sets for a very high-stress, probably high-strain movement. Well, not high-strain, it's very great. It is great, but like, dude, the stretch is absurd, alright? And that's going to affect your connective tissue. Which doesn't mean that you can't do these things. But what I have learned is that if you do genuinely try to abuse the volume over and over and over and over and over again on these stretch-based motions, you may not actually get, well, you may just get hurt. Honestly. The stretch is great and it's awesome, but you don't fucking need 12 sets in one session. Even if you're trying to do that for the whole week, you could go just do 8 sets and you'd be perfectly fine. Most of you could get away with 6 sets. I got away with 6 sets for a long time. Per week. I'd wager even some of you, if you're doing machines, you could do 2 sets per workout twice a week. Deadass. Now, when it comes to calisthenics, it's no different. People like to make it out that you could do 50 billion reps and sets and whatever of calisthenics. What that could be indicative of is that the exercises are far too light, so that you try to make it like an endurance exercise and more of a metabolic fatigue sort of thing. It's not necessarily going to be super special though in terms of like general stimulus. If you just get that muscle failure, calisthenics or not, you need time to rest. You don't need to go overboard on the stimulus. You're not going to grow so much more. Twice the volume is never twice the gains, as Alan McDonald says. Anyway, 12 sets of these bastard push-ups, which are great exercise. It's a great exercise, right? Yeah. Back is not. This is where I'm going to just stop right there. What the hell is this exercise? I see this way too often for it to be just not a psyop. This is ridiculous. Do people just want shoulder problems? Do people... So he does 15 sets of this. This is not an exercise worthy of doing. I don't even give a shit if you're going to do it because of the fact that you got a home setup and you got no weights, no pull-up bar, nothing. 15 sets of this is in of itself ridiculous. Okay, 15 sets is absurd. 15 sets for the whole back, maybe. But you're doing this as a lat biased motion, I'm assuming, because of the arm angle. Terrible movement. God awful. There's no proper loading on the lats to pull you up. And you're just doing an isometric contraction. Basically, you're just turning on and off the contraction rather than contracting through the whole motion. That is not what hypertrophy training is. You might get the tiniest bit of, I don't know, proximal hypertrophy, maybe, because contractions might do something for the proximal region versus the distal. I mean, I guess, but how much? Probably a gram on your rhomboids. Do you want that? You want to do 15 sets for a gram on your rhomboids? It's ridiculousness. I'll tell you what will actually get you some gains. Doing pull-ups. Invest in a pull-up bar. Just invest in one pull-up bar that you can, nail 2 things to the side of it. Then you twist the thing like it's a penis. You'll get infinitely more gains if you did 3 sets of that and 3 sets of inverted rows while your feet are dangling from the other side of the... Say you got a hallway and there's 2 doors. You can do pull-ups here. Put your feet on the top of the door frame of there like I did. And you get yourself inverted rows. Or just do it with your feet on the chair. It is 50 times more efficient than doing this bullshit. I will say, because of the lack of stimulus, 15 sets might not be the exact worst thing in the world, but at the same time, it is genuinely terrible. You go from 12 sets of a high stress, high strain, freaking high stretch, freaking huge tension at the bottom, freaking movement, or mid-range, 12 sets, which would fry you by the freaking time you went to 3 sets. Or 2 even, if you actually try to really push it, and you're new to the movement. But then you go to a 15... This is bullshit. Oh, but what do you recommend, Yusuf? I will show you, dickhead. Well, first of all, you should invest in, at least a band. Get the freaking elastic band. I'm not one of these people who thinks that, elastic bands are terrible. I think they're great, actually. They're great for getting different ranges of motion, different hypertrophy in different places. For example, when you do a bench press and you get the band, you get a bit more tricep activation. I'm not exactly sure how much more hypertrophy you get with a band versus without a band. If you just do close grip bench with a lot of stretch or whatever, I would still wager that there's something to it, especially with distal hypertrophy, well, proximal hypertrophy taken into account with, more more short and biased motions, or more tension at the short and biased things, right? Now, and also, when you pull apart, you actually do get quite a bit of a stretch because, whereas with a dumbbell, you barely get a stretch, but you can't do shit here. You have to have freaking 5 kilos to get up to here, because, while this whole range of motion, you can do 20, right? Whereas with the band, you can actually... Ooh, it's hard. Ooh, okay, that's better. Ooh, oh, it's still a ton of squeeze, no doubt. Let's not get that wrong. But I think they're a little misunderstood as a tool, and I've misunderstood them too. Not to say that they aren't mostly short and biased, but they have nuances to whatever. Anyway, without get this stupid fucking exercise out of the way. Stupid JJ. I'm gonna show you an actual exercise I actually have done, or at least I can recommend. Okay. Yes, you're gonna see this shirt in full form. Let me just get this tripod down. I'm sorry, I'm just pissed off at this exercise. It's literally the most dog shit stain on the calisthenics community. That exercise alone, this whole home fitness workout bullshit is terrible. Anyway, you got a chair, right? Let's say you want to work your lats. This is not gonna give you Dorian Yates lats, right? This will give you something though, especially if you're a beginner. You put your arms like this, stretch, and come on. Come on. Now, if you want to make it harder, you get your legs out. And out, and out. And then it can become like a core exercise. It's actually pretty good as a core exercise, a bit more than a lat exercise, but it's definitely better than this bullshit. Now, you want to really make it like harder, you can just put your arm there, just... Yeah. You keep like one leg off the floor, so you can actually move freely. Yeah. Let's just get real. Let's just get real. It won't be great for hypertrophy, but it's 20 times better than that shit ass exercise. I'm guaranteeing you that. I'm guaranteeing. Maybe the 15 sets might offset it. The 12, whatever the hell sort of thing he recommended, but at least here you can properly, get it to some progression, damn it. Yeah. I mean, I can even feel it in at least the terries. And twist into it to really get to the lower lats and stuff. Yeah. Again, this is not going to get you Dorian Yates lats. But I'm not going to sell you that lie. I'm not going to sell you that like all these other people say, you're going to get your big freaking summer body like this. Hell fucking nah. And that's with a chair. Everyone has a chair. What the hell sort of towel do you use for this? Do you use a long towel, short towel, big towel, freaking thick towel? They don't tell you. Because it's not standardization. There's no standard. And you know what? You could say the same thing for my exercise. I will say this. I'll give you some... I mean, if I was to lower this chair, I do wonder how much harder it will be if I was to do one arm. Maybe it's easier, I don't know. Yeah, so this is piss easy to be honest, but whatever. Now, bring this up. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I can actually feel my back. Especially around here, the terries. Then again, I'm pretty terries dominant, at least in terms of where I feel shit. I never usually feel shit in my lats anyway. Though maybe if I was to externally rotate, oh yeah, okay. Do this style of grip, like really externally rotate. Oh yeah, I can feel it like here. I can feel it there. Okay. So ignore this bullshit about, fuck you, man. No, not really, but just fuck that disgusting advice. That's way better of a lat exercise, and I would suggest just 3 sets, honestly. 3 sets to failure. Again, I'm just going to clarify this 20 times over. 20 times over, this won't get you Dorian Yates lats. This will get you something, though, much more substantial. And it's progressible. I would not suggest to do this on a swivelly chair like mine. I would suggest to do this on, a stable chair that, is heavy enough so that you don't break into it. Like if there's a plastic chair, or if it's, it's not going to wobble and flip over the place, okay? Now, another exercise you can do. If you have a desk or a chair, or, well, not a chair, like, if you have a desk, or, well, heck, even a chair, maybe 2 chairs, and a broom, or just like a big desk with a lot of space underneath it, you just do rows, underhand rows. They're great, or overhand rows even. You'll just have to be really careful. Make sure that the desk is actually stable. I would not do this on this desk because I love this desk. It's an electronic desk. But if I was to do this, it would probably break. So don't just go for any old desk and then break your freaking back and go, where the 2-subscriber freaking YouTuber with small arms said for me to do this exercise. I'm gonna sue him. No, don't fucking sue me, dickhead. Don't. But yeah, I hope that actually helps you. Now let's see the rest of this video, because I actually haven't seen this video. I literally just rage quit after seeing that one disgusting bastard exercise, which gives me PTSD. There we go. Legs are not... Okay, this is decent. 15 reps. 15 reps? What is this bullshit with calisthenics athletes, especially? Where they like say, oh, I built my freaking physique with progressive overload, with tracking my lifts and actually getting substantial progress, actually trying to beat the log. But no, just 15 reps, bro. 15 reps. You know what that does to someone who is a fucking noob? It would make them want to cheat the movement and cut the range of motion where they don't need to and forget about mobility and whatever because they're just trying to hit a number. This is ridiculous. This is awful. This is objectively terrible advice for people. Anyway, I'm looking like I'm small as hell. Let me... Anyway, garbage advice. Don't ever listen to a dickhead who's saying, oh, just do 15 reps of this, and 14 reps of that, and 5 reps of this, and 2 reps of that. Do whatever reps you can do, with as good a form as you can. Doesn't have to be my Gennofit 60 billion second down the eccentric or whatever, but you just do as many as you can until there's a very noticeable... Okay? Where you're really pulling it hard and it will still slow down to a crawl. Depending on what the actual strength curve is, it will be different in which it will crawl. Because sometimes, for example, like a bench press is mid-bias, right? So it's like, you usually have a sticking point there. Same with the squats, where it's like you just come off the holes and... Whereas with a preacher curl, it's pretty much just like a stupid struggle all throughout because of just how the strength curve is. Maybe a tiny bit off the, like say, a preacher curl's like this, right? You might have a thing over there, like when your arm's like this, right? That's when the strength really confidence gets you like, ugh! You're still kind of mostly leather bias because you know what I mean. Anyway, you just need to get to a point where it's slow as hell, even if you try and push as hard as you can. You don't just aim for an arbitrary number that some guy told you to. It's ridiculous that this sort of advice is still prevalent in 2020 fucking 5. And what the hell do you mean 15 reps? 15 reps of what? 15 reps of 5? 15 reps of 2? Where's the set rep scheme? You just said for me to do 15 bastard sets of freaking towel rows. 15 bastard sets of towel rows. And now you're going to tell me to just do 15 reps of just legs. That's the most imbalanced freaking program I've ever seen in my entire life. My God. 10 pike push-ups. What the hell sort of BS is it? 10 pike... You've already exhausted the crap of your shoulders probably with that deep range of motion incline friggin' press. And now you're going to tell people to do just 10 reps of which, hey, you know what? At least it's something for... At least it's less than 50 billion reps. At the same time, though, what the hell is... I mean, let me just tell you this right. He hasn't actually talked about rep scheme. Like, you know, a 5 to 30, or a 4 to 15, or a freaking 7 to 25, or whatever the hell. He just said random bullshit. I just don't get this. There are 2 or 3 exercises that have just been given sets without any rep scheme. Okay, well, what if someone is able to get 100 reps, or 5 reps, or 15 reps? Or, well, what about the progression? Nothing. absolutely fucking nothing. This guy doesn't tell you shit. This guy doesn't tell... I'm almost embarrassed for him. I am embarrassed for him. This is his visit. He just sold out. He sold out for some clicks. Because the truth is unsexy. I know I'm going to get jack shit for clips. I know... I know that I'm going to have way more views, way more subscribers if I told people to do break dances for 15 sets and just call it a day. To get a physique that, I don't know, I took 15 years to get with progressive overload or whatever. By the way, I haven't taken 15 years to get this physique. That would be terrible if I did. I'm just saying, though, if I watched a guy like this where I took, 8 to 10, whatever, I don't even know how much. Okay. 12 incline curl, but what the fuck was that syntax? Hold on. Soul triceps. And finish off with 12 incline curl. Did he say biceps? What the fuck do you mean 12 incline curl biceps? 12 incline bicep curls. And that is even stupider than the last. You got 12 sets. 12 sets of push-ups. And one probably sub-maximal ass set of bicep curls. What is wrong with you? You didn't even target your... you didn't even get your biceps in the last back exercise, which is usually where you get some stimulus at least. This is just to say that this is a bad thing. There are plenty of good... Oh, my throat is really fucking hurting. Oh, my goodness. There are amazing exercises for the back that don't involve the biceps. Like, for example, the Dorian Yates pullover with the friggin' Nautilus row. Like, the Nautilus thing was like... Right? You didn't even do that. You did not even do that. And now you're going to tell me you can do one bastard set of curls. One bastard set of curls that is sub-maximal. The rest is inexcusable. The rest is already inexcusable. But this is absurd. 12 fucking reps of what? To what rate? To what rep rate? No, rep ratio. To what, intensity? What percentage of your 1 rep max, dickhead? 2 RIR? 60 in RIR? With how much weight? Are you going to tell these people to do an X amount of weight too now? Honestly, if this sort of guy was to exist in the bodybuilding sphere with weights, they might actually say that shit, honestly. Which sucks, because let me tell you this right now, I forgot to mention this, pike push-ups are hard. Pike push-ups are very hard for a beginner. Ask me how I know. Maybe because of the fact I couldn't progress on those bastards because I thought I needed to do 100 of them or something because of the stupid 100 a day, 200 a day push-ups challenge. And now you got dickheads saying you just do 12 sets of incline bend. That in itself is gonna how the fucking these exercises make no sense. No sense. You got yourself. All right, let me tell you that. You got yourself deep range of motion incline push-ups. Right, for 12 sets, more than some more than some natural bodybuilders do that are advanced, right? 12 bastard sets, okay? 12. Deep range of motion for a beginner trying to get shredded for the summer fast. This is aimed at beginners. If you were to do this for a beginner, you would get them to do normal push-ups for maybe 2 sets maximum. 1 set warm-up on the knees. In fact, a lot of beginners wouldn't even be able to do this without on their full. If you wanted to do this incline bullshit, you'd get rid of the extra stretch. You would just get them to do it on a low wall. That would be way more sufficient. That would be very sufficient, right? That would be way better. Or do it on the floor on your knees for 2 sets. Really focusing on getting good form, good technique, and actually pushing hard. That is the most important thing. No arbitrary number of sets is going to ever get you big. What's going to get you big is pushing yourself hard, getting skilled at the movements that you choose, and you're actually committed for more than 2 seconds. This will burn you out. So 12 sets of that. Blah, 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 blue, blue, lingang, gulu, gulu, gulu. And then you get a completely different 12 12 sets of deep incline push-ups, which for a lot of people would fry them even if they were intermediate. If they were doing it properly with good form, good technique, especially if they were doing it for 12 sets. That would cause rhabdo. Well, maybe not, but it would definitely cause you to be sore on the chest for like 2 weeks. 15 bastard sets of towel rolls, which are beyond... this is not even a beginner exercise. My mom does this exercise, and she doesn't train. What the hell do you think her back looks like? Anyway, blah, 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 blah. No offense to my mom, of course. I'm very happy she does that sort of thing. But let me just be real. You went from an intermediate-friendly exercise to yoga. Now you got 50 reps of side lunges. You know how hard that bitch is? You know how hard it is for beginners to do freaking normal bodyweight exercises? Especially bodyweight squats. They can't even coordinate. They can't even bend over to tie their shoes, and you're going to tell them to do side lunges. What the fuck's wrong with you? For one set of 15. 15 reps. 15 reps. They can't do 15 reps of bodyweight squats, and you're telling them to do side lunges. What sort of stupidity is this? Oh my goodness. Side lunges. They're going to butcher that movement to death, and you're going to tell them to do that, and then they're going to have this neurological adaptation to do it shittily every single time, and you're going to tell them, and you think that's good? That's going to get you... No! That might get you injured, if anything, if you ever put any weight on it. Fuck's sake. Terrible. You don't tell them to do it. There's no excuse for this. There are 3 minute shorts now. 3 minutes. You could have made this in 3 minutes. You could have made it 3 minutes, properly explaining the cues and the techniques. But no, you just went, you went there, you did. And you wanted to be fast and quick for the little babies to actually be able to process it. This is terrible advice. This is genuinely god-awful. Oh my god. Now, I think I know where this is going. 10 pike push, again, terrible movement for beginners to do it on their feet. You should make them do it on their knees at most. But even then, you have to consider the fact that you did 12 sets of incline deep freaking presses that are akin to like a... It's like a dip. It's like a dip, like a long range of motion dip. But like a little easier, maybe. Maybe a little easier than a dip, right? It is still going to fry your chest. It's still going to fry your triceps. It's still going to fry your freaking delts. Especially after the 12 sets. Then again, if you're not trying, you're not going to get those 12 sets anyway. Or you're not going to feel any fatigue from it, or not that much fatigue. Maybe enough fatigue that you could have gone if you just did 3 sets. 3 sets of properly pushing yourself hard. This just teaches bad habits. And if he's saying reps and swapping it for sets, that's even stupider, but whatever. And let's finish off with 12 incline curl biceps, which, again, the fucking wording is terrible. It just pisses me off to no end. 12 incline curl biceps. Dickhead, it is called bicep curls, not incline curl biceps. See the incline curls, incline bicep curls, bicep incline curls, not incline curls biceps. English is your first language, and you talk like this. If there's one person I want Trump to deport, it's this bitch. I swear. This is garbage. This is garbage. This is actually the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I thought I wouldn't get this pissed off. But I already knew I'd get pissed off at this video. But I am. My throat is hoarse from shouting about this video. It is genuinely that terrible. As someone who's wasted so many years of his life training like shit because of advice like this genuinely upsets me. Genuinely upsets me. I know this person's trying to do good. I don't even think that. If you wanted to try and get this person to do good for people, here's what you'll say. And you know what? I'm going to give it for free with very much off the top of my head. I haven't planned this or whatever. But let's say we wanted to do a similar type of movement. Like similar movements. Similar type of body parts targeted. Right? And we were to do this shit at home. Okay. this is what I would do. If we wanted to do it for a 30 to 45 minute workout, for beginners, for actual beginners, actually tailored to beginners. Here's how I do it. First off, we will start with the squat. No, actually, no. I don't want to start with squat. Usually you would if you were to, but then again, it might fatigue you too much to do the other body parts. So let's just say you're an upper body bro who wants a little legs. Fine. You would do just normal, on your knees, press-ups for 2 sets. Then you do the exercise I showed you. If you want more of like a general Terry's major, Terry's minor bias, which to be fair, you don't need to think about that now because you are small. You would do a little more overhand or like medium, like a neutral grip. If you were to do more lats, you'd go supinated, like really digging in, while also getting your hips slightly involved, but not too much to a point where you might develop imbalances. You do that for 2 sets. You also, by the way, with these sets, you train to the point of not being able to do another rep, or very close, at least safely. Okay, if you're feeling like you're gonna hurt yourself by going to the next rep, don't do it. If you feel a little twinge or a little pain that's like in the distal areas of the muscle, please don't do that. Please don't try and make yourself strain for this reason. I'm just saying, however, you really need to learn to push hard. You don't have to push super hard from the get, and you should most definitely take as many warm-ups as needed. But if we're talking about 45 minutes, and say you established your motor neuron patterns or whatever they're out, I would say 2 sets to failure. Yeah. Then we do 2 sets of bodyweight squats, only to as deep as you're able to. There's a lot of people who try to go super deep, and then they completely, the rigidity of their lower back just goes into it turns into a shrimp. That's not necessarily what we want. That doesn't get you more growth. That just gets you more lower back. And a lot of people already suffer with lower back issues, and so maybe having that sort of maybe adding to that stress probably doesn't help. You could potentially progress with it. It's just not going to be super sustainable, and I would rather you do something like a Jefferson curl. So if you wanted to be like an upper body bro mostly, I say 2 sets of that, just to where you still have the low back being straight. And let's throw in maybe 1 set of Jeffersons, very slowly. In the Jeffersons, you kind of hold your arms in front like this, or even just touch your toes and go up, like just curve your vertebrae from the top down to the bottom, really slow, and then going up. This won't get you necessarily the biggest, super sexy muscles ever, but it'll give you general rigidity, stability, integrity in the spine, whatever. Don't listen to Squat University. That advice usually just applies to people with herniations. If you're not herniated and you've got a healthy back, it's best to probably round your back in some movements purposefully and consistently, like the Jefferson, rather than say rounding it midway through a lift that you usually do in a rigid motion. Anyway, a rigid posture. Now, we can do ourselves the tricep extensions. So you put your hands on a chair and you kind of do skull crushes like this. Now, I'll do a little demo. I'll actually do a demo of the Jeffersons too while I'm at it, because, it's best to actually teach your audience instead of telling them to just do random bullshit for no fucking reason. So, you want to be as slow and as controlled as possible. So it's like, if you feel too much of a strain, by the way, just don't do it. Or, at the very least, put your hands on a chair while you do it. And only go to as deep as you're comfortable with. The point of exercise isn't necessarily to feel pain in the distal regions and your joints or whatever. It's to be able to target the muscle, strengthen those joints, challenge them, but not get them to a point of being irreparably injured or whatever the hell, So you just do that. You feel maybe a little stretch in your hamstrings or whatever, depends, and then just go up. You can standardize the range of motion, so you can keep your hands like this. And you can put the chair lower and lower to be able to get lower and lower, and then and then there. And then before you know, you can just do this. again, go really slowly up. Now for the tricep exercise, I want to just show you. You get yourself there. I think that works. I don't know. You can do this basically. Well, you know, for beginners, I'll probably suggest like a push down type of motion rather than an extension type of motion first. So one push down motion first. So like this, just like, you know, squeezing rather than doing too much range of motion. Maybe get to a 90 degree at first of the arm angle, and then when you get more used to it, or you can just go from the get, sort of go all the way down and all the way up. I just suggest the lower range of motion at first, because a lot of people just genuinely will hurt their elbows if they try to go super deep, super fast, super quick, right? But say you go accustomed to it, you keep your shoulders pinned back or up, you know, just keep them stable. Try not to push from your chest because you already worked your chest. Maybe do one set of this, right? One set of that to failure, or two. And then for the long head, you do this. For one set of two. I would suggest maybe 3 sets total, or 2 sets total, including these exercises and how many sets you want them for each. Okay? Now for the bicep curls, I would suggest something like maybe... Oh wait, hold on. Let me just... Wait, hold on. I didn't even mention this. This is... Oh my god. How did I not see this? Okay. This guy put this video out as if it's like, you know, you got barely any equipment, you only got 30 minutes, you do this exercise. At the last moment, he brings out weights. So all of these exercises, this stupid bullshit freaking... Oh my god, how did I not notice until now? He brings up the curls the very last second, when he could have used that for a way better stimulus on his back by just doing a basic row. I don't even know what the hell what sort of ketamine these people are smoking, or however the hell you even use it, but what the hell is this? That makes the video even worse, with the advent of the fact that he had weights to begin with. Oh my goodness. I'm so tired of this. That just ruined my day. That legitimately just ruined my day. The fact that he had weights, and he decided to not actually choose proper exercises for the back. He chose the stupid, shitty, freaking lat, whatever. You could even do a super... Listen, you don't even need that much weight. For a row, with the dumbbells, you bend over, or put yourself on a bench or whatever, but let's say you just bend over, maybe lean back with your butt, you know, properly hinge, so, not like this, right? I mean, you can probably get used to this motion, but it's probably not best for a lot of people. You hinge, you brace, so you inflate through your stomach and crunch down to keep the rib cage and the pelvis aligned, and then you just go out like this, right? Seriously, this shit is hard even with 5 kilos. This is absurd. This makes it way easier. This is so much better of a freaking exercise than whatever bullshit of it. Oh my god, that was terrible. That is terrible. The fact that you had weights and you decided to recommend a stupid towel. Oh, I might even, you know what, fuck you, man. I'm not pissed off at you. I'm gonna tell you. Gennofit. Gennofit. You a bitch. Also, you didn't see me grab on my dick. That is not what I did. I was just adjusting my pants. I did not grab on my dick. Okay, I might have, but that's just a stim of mine. I just automatically do it when I'm bored. Gennofit, you a hoe. What the hell were you thinking when making this video? You had weights this entire time, and you wasted on 12 arbitrary reps of bicep curls. And you make this whole thing. Is this a fucking April Fool's? This was uploaded 19 hours. 300,000 people saw this. And there'll be like one person, and there'll be no one who sees this. This video will get 0 views. Because of dickheads like these taking up all the attention. I don't even know what the heck. Why try? Why? In an age where lies are just like the fucking default. Why? Disinformation is just at an all-time high now. Oh my. Anyway, bicep exercise for people who don't actually have bicep equipment, however, you can do the same thing as I did with the the rows with the table, but what you do is maybe you put your bent or like your butt on a stool or a beanbag or something to make it way easier. But I already did the rows and it was fine. No, See, when you try to optimize your rows for your back, you're gonna lose a little more hypertrophy for the biceps, right? So what you do is, instead of doing this, you do this. See the difference? This. And you can do a combination in certain cases, but eventually you'll realize that this curling motion is not necessarily a curling motion of the bicep. It's just a coincidence. Well, it's partly a coincidence, a coincidental angle change of the elbow, because the elbow is pushing back into the freaking latch to be able to get the freaking latch to work. So you're not actually doing a bicep curl and this at the same time. You're doing this and it looks like a bicep curl from the outside. If you want proper bicep hypertrophy, you're going to isolate, and the best way to isolate is to just do that. So you do that. Or you can do what I can do. Well, by the way, be very careful with this exercise. Don't do this unless you feel very comfortable with it. You can limit the range of motion at first, but do this. And yeah, it's garbage, by the way. Let me just be real with you. This is total garbage in terms of hypertrophy for the long term, but this might get you somewhere at some time. At least it can get you to feel something. This might strain your shoulders, though. I'm just telling you, however, it can be pretty nice as a feel. What you can do is actually adjust your torso angle. And so if you do like this, for example, like you do like your hips all the way forward, that can hurt your shoulders. Whereas if you were to just, really keep your, I mean, this is a terrible freaking way of doing it. Ideally, you would do on a low wall. Actually, I found it really helped with a low wall. So, a low wall like this, I'll just demonstrate it. It's actually decent. It's not terrible, and it's not the best, but it's okay. With a chair, though, it can hurt your shoulders a bit more. I just want to put that out there. Because I'm honest, and I actually care about integrity. I actually care about informing the viewers, damn it. Anyway, what did we learn today? Oh, by the way, 2 sets to failure. Again, though, that variation is reserved for people who just want to get a little bit more advanced, but they don't have equipment, right? Okay, I'm done for this. My tripod's so shit. So what do we learn? Oh, I look like a 4'2" bitch. Okay. What do we learn from this? Normie fitness influencers are garbage. Total, utter trash. Shit. I didn't even want to call this guy out, but this, I just can't, this is terrible. God awful. Genuinely trash. It will waste years of your life. Stop that. Get your shit together, both the viewer and the person who's made that content. This is terrible. This is awful. You could be better than this. That's it for me. Oh wait, hold on, before we go. Work your damn calves. There's so many of these freaking, here's how you tell my body. But they never talk about calves. Do some calf raises on the stairs, or probably best, just do them on the floor, straight-legged, super slow, super controlled, and actually making sure you feel the muscle rather than the tendon, and just progress. The best progression is the best evidence for hypertrophy, especially with the same form, same technique in general, same cadence. That's what you should look out for, not for some arbitrary number, arbitrary sets or whatever. It's stupid. Stupid. Anyway, that's it for me.